At number 1, I want to talk about Usotoki Rhetoric, which is a J-drama going on right now. It features Oji Suzuka, who was in Netflix's From Me to You, and Honoka Matsumoto as the female lead. The dynamic between these two is so right. It's giving Sherlock Holmes and John Watson kind of chemistry. Honoka acts really coy, cutesy, and adorable in this. And when I saw her actor profile, I was like, what? Is this the same person? Because in the series, she looks so different. I like that Usotoki Rhetoric is a feel-good J-drama. It's just well done. I was kind of skeptical when I put it on the first time, but it really just ended up being one of those that I kept going back. Basically, when I'm feeling down, I put it on. It's about this girl who can hear, or rather see, when people lie, but obviously she's such a sweetheart that she feels compelled to call it out. So when she does this as a kid in her village, it turns out to work against her and her mom because they end up being shunned by the village, and her especially. They call her a freak, just not very nice. So it makes sense that when she turns 18 or she comes of age, she decides to move to the city. And when she gets there, she meets a broke detective, but he's kind and clearly in need of an assistant. He lives in his landlady's house where he doesn't pay rent because he cleans the family shrine that was left to the landlady. That's just how he gets to live in her house for free and focus on his detective business, which is clearly not doing very well. So once they become friends, they start to solve crimes together. Honoka's character moves into the detective's home and he doesn't really judge her for having the power. She doesn't obviously come out and say, I can detect lies. And then no. They have a few friends that they interact with often. The family next door that runs a restaurant with a little kid, and the other is a police officer. And it's just so nice because everyone, the little community on the little street is like connected, and I'm just happy Honoka's character finds somewhere where she can like just be normal and not be hated. It's such a well-balanced show, so I recommend it for those days when you're looking for something light and wholesome, not too heavy on the romance, to be honest. I also stumbled upon the Japanese version of Suspicious Partner. I didn't enjoy Suspicious Partner, the K-drama. I just couldn't get into it. So I think I definitely watched the Japanese version by accident because I didn't even clock the title. I was like, oh, Yuseyagi, click. And then I was like, yeah, I don't need to know the premise. Yuseyagi's here. Let's see what he's doing. And it turns out Yuseyagi's actually quite good at acting. He's gotten so much better. And I'm so grateful that I saw his face, got excited, and just clicked. Because I was in the process of rewatching My Beautiful Man literally like every week for the last 2 weeks. So it's nice to have a change of pace just by coming across this and be like, oh, Yusei, and just clicking on it. But in this show, I'll say that he was quite removed from Kyoe, and I was able to disengage from my memory that moment of him as Kyoe into the lawyer in Suspicious Partner Japan. I'm looking forward to actually finishing this version of Suspicious Partner, but I'm just still gonna watch it really, really slowly. I'm also watching Friendly Rivalry, the K-drama. People were hyping it up because of the Yuri vibes, but yeah, I watched it pretty much because of Yuri. She's like one of my top 5 Korean actresses. And to be honest, I was really upset not too long after she went through all that nonsense with her ex-boyfriend and Han So-hee, who is also in my top 5 of Korean actresses. Like, the girls were fighting and I was like, please don't. Not over this motherfucker. In regards to reading, I've been obsessed with AO3, also known as Archive of Our Own, a web platform similar to Wattpad that's for people who want to like publish their fanfic in comparison to Wattpad. If you have been on Wattpad and have not been on AO3, maybe brace yourself because it's unlawful. Some of the reading on there, you're like, wow. I've been reading Spice since well before I was supposed to be reading Spice. Hello, Mills and Boone. I highly recommend you get an Archive of Our Own account. Technically, you don't really need an account to read the series or the stories because I was reading the stories before I even got an account. But now that I'm officially a citizen, I got the invitation. I signed up. I am one of them. I am so excited. Shan Shoham is one of the authors. So Shan_Shoham wrote, I would say, the best Our Youth fanfic on AO3. The fanfic is called Our Youth. The author is Shan_Shoham. The other author is Marwaz, but it's better if I spell it for you. So it's MARWZHHH. MARWZHHH. And And she is really good at writing short little stories, short chapters, or she has a few works on AO3 that are longer, and they're all in the Our Youth BL universe. And I like that she sometimes goes from super spicy to middle spicy to no spice to cute to clean. And like, it's just such a delight because after reading Shan Shoham's Our Youth, like I was like, what comes after this? Nothing. And then I found Mawa's and her work just tided me over really well. And I'm slowly going through the different authors because obviously if you're in the tag for that series, like you get to see other people's contributions. And it's while doing that I also found Savior, which is written by an author called Light, all one word. Her Savior fanfic, I'm super into it right now. All I can say is, guys, just start with those 3. Also beware, your eyeballs will bleed. You will literally question the people who wrote some of the stuff on there, depending where you end up. And think about it this way. You don't just have to read Our Youth BL on AO. They've got fanfic for every single TV show, K-pop artist, whatever. In regards to what I'm listening to at the moment, all I've got to say is NCT 10. 10, the artist. 10 of NCT is so talented. I knew he was a great dancer. I didn't know he was such a great musician. I highly enjoyed Stunner, his second mini album, and he then went on to slap us all with a second album, but this time a Japanese mini album called Humanity, a total banger. I, in fact, believe I listened to Humanity more than I listened to Stunner. Baekhyun also just released his latest album, Essence of Reverie. I've listened to it 2 days in a row, back to back. It's done really well because it's now his 5th million seller album. I will say, he really came and gave us an R&B album from start to finish. He said, my previous album was pop, hip-hop, R&B, a bit of this, a bit of that. But guys, Essence of a Reverie, R&B. If you love R&B, this is for you, baby. We're back. Oh, I love him so much because Hello World was a delight. But like, as an R&B lover, predominantly, that's my number 1 genre. Essence of a Reverie, like he's got me. So if you're an R&B lover like me, you have to listen to Essence of Reverie. R&B Baekhyun, very special, very close to our hearts. In my liked song playlist, Another Life by riize, Inside My Love by riize, The End of Day by riize, Midnight Mirage by riize, all from Odyssey, the album they just released, last week? I must admit that potentially is down to the concept photos I had to release for you guys on YouTube Shorts. Oh, so good for the eye. They called me curious. I was like, okay. And then turns out, out of all of them, Sohee, the one with the voice and the visuals, in my opinion, yeah, I think that's my bias in riize, is Sohee. For his visuals, for his voice. Artistically, Sohee is the guy for me in riize. And highly recommend you go and listen to Odyssey. Western-wise, I'm listening to Coco Jones. It's called whynotmore. The album is top tier. And also, Canadian artist called Lights. She released her 6th studio album called A6. So if you're into indie rock, definitely listen. And best part, she always gives us a produced album and an acoustic album. So after the produced album version comes out, she's probably going to release an acoustic version of the album. I'm looking forward to listening to that as well. Highly recommend you read, watch, and listen to what I've recommended. Love you so much. Bye.